And the can I say my third guy just real
Oh,
quick
yes, please
while I'm
do.
thinking about it? Because I see Easy just mentioned him in the comments too.
Mhm.
Dalton Knecht, I think, might be my second favorite wing spot guy after Resache. I like him better than Matas Buzelis. I like him better than Ron Holland. Um, those are both really solid players, but Dalton Knecht is 23, I think, or 22 or
Yes.
23. So he already has the fundamentals. He has the physicality to play at this level. He's a plug and play guy, kind of like a Jaime Jaquez has been for Miami. And he is an absolute bucket getter at 6'7", 6'8" as well, with the frame of a really solid defender. He's not going to wow you with his athleticism in terms of defense, but he's still a really physical, solid body. And for a team like us that struggled with bench scoring, especially spacing the floor, like we have Keldon there as that kind of primary scorer, but when Malachi is not hitting threes, Zach's not hitting threes. Like for Dalton to be that guy that can come in and just get buckets for us and space the floor, that would be huge, especially at that second pick if we are able to get it.
Yeah, I don't think that you're crazy on that. I was looking into I did a deep dive on a lot of prospects today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Watching him really stood out. Um, and that kind of that do you want that to lead into our next little topic here that we have, Ethan?
You'll have to remind me what it is, but I like your flow, Jude. Let's do it.
Well, it's just Spurs potential draft prospects.
Oh, yes.
And Dalton Knecht leads the small forwards. So we'll talk about him before I read off the rest. Um, but you kind of already said most of it. But I just think that really similar to Rasache, he would come in and immediately be a 3-and-D guy. But he can get buckets off the dribble
Mhm.
too. He was Tennessee's scorer. And the thing I like about him is his story too. He was at a junior college, worked his way up, then was at Northern Colorado, and I believe was a like all conference player in that smaller conference. Transferred this year to Tennessee, like, okay, this is going to be my year where I've been building up, kind of like Derek White. And look at Derek White was 23 when he came out. Now we're going to get to
Mhm.
Reed Shepard because play style wise, I think that Derek White is that's actually the better comp, I would say there. But in the sense that he had to work his way up from a junior college to another, small mid-major school to finally making it to Tennessee, like Derek finally made it to Colorado, and then showing out being one of the best players in the SEC, leading Tennessee, to almost beating Purdue, the national runner-up. That had one of the best defenses in the entirety of college basketball because of Zach Edey, which we all know, and as well as other players. Um, Jaden Ivey went to Purdue, right?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I don't know why I'm bringing up Jaden Ivey. I think I'm just honestly, I think I'm thinking a little bit of the Jaden Ivey comment in the Kevin O'Connor interview, where Wemby said that he was one of the more surprising players to guard. But what I'm getting at more is that Purdue is a really solid program, and they've had good defense and produced NBA players, for a little bit.
Mhm.
And so I just there's a lot to like about Dalton Knecht and the statement that he made in 1 year. I think, I mean, not only did that prove a lot of people wrong in the sense of what he could do at that level of college basketball, but it turned him into a top 10 prospect at 22, at 23.
Right. I'm a huge fan of him,
Yeah.
obviously.
But I don't think that like to be like he has a higher floor than Buzelis in Holland. And I don't think that's all Buzelis and Holland's fault because we've talked about how G League Ignite literally got canceled this year because of the way that season went for them. Um, but at the same time, straight up, I would say he is, while there's maybe a chance that like a Buzelis, because he's 6'10", if he can put everything together, he could maybe have, a higher ceiling than Connect. If you want to go to Ron Holland, maybe he's a little bit bigger. He's got a little bit even more, athleticism and physicality. But like shooting's a question for him. Shooting's not a question for Dalton Connect. You
Mm.
know, I think he is much more of a sure thing than those two guys. So when you talked about how you have Connect above both of those guys, other than maybe or Rasache, excuse me. Um, I can see where you're coming from for sure.
Yeah, and it gives us a chance without having to make a trade or a free agency signing to kind of accelerate the timeline because he is. I mean, he's still young. He's 23, but
Right.
he's like we said, comes in with a higher floor, probably makes a more immediate impact that affects winning right out of the gate. Whereas some of these other guys, it might take them a year or two to really get comfortable and find their footing playing against NBA competition.
Well, I mean, I hate to keep bringing this up, but I'm pretty sure Ignite got like, I think they only got 2 wins this year. They got 3 at the most. So when you're talking about impacting winning, you're going to
Hmm.
take the guy who elevated Tennessee. I don't know if they ended up winning the SEC championship this year, but regardless, I'm pretty sure out of all the SEC teams, they made it the furthest in
Hmm.
March Madness, and he was by far one of the best players. Um, but yeah, I'm I'm sorry, I'm
No,
losing my.
you're good. You're good. I think we're going on a Reed Shepard, right? You said you wanted to
I
touch
am
on
going to get
his.
to Reed Shepard, but I wanted to read off some of the
Go ahead.
read off the rest of the small forwards list before we start. But this is the point I was getting to. When you talk about impacting winning, you've seen Dalton do that.
Yes, at the highest level.
Matas and Ron are going to have to learn a little bit because of the situation that Ignite was, and that's not
Right.
their fault, but it's also is what it is. That's what I was
Mhm.
trying to say there.